Hey, Shalom Shalom Mishpocha. Welcome to another edition of Ray Bash's Ramblings. I'm your host, Rabbi Yehuda Ben Shomer, and this video is entitled Rabbi's Rules. I've posted this as a blog on my blog site and on other places with some very positive feedback, basically by saying that these rules are not just for rabbis, but they're good for anybody to follow. But these are just five personal rules that I go by, that I've taken upon myself as a rabbi, that I've slowly developed over time in the ministry and experience. And I'd like to share those with you. I just call them Rabbi's Rules, and they're five personal rules that I live by as a rabbi. Number one, I only speak on what I know that I know that I know. So in other words, whatever I teach, whatever I present, especially online and in blogs or on videos, I only teach it because I know it. I do my best to know every angle and dimension and aspect of what I'm talking about so that I have a thorough, in-depth knowledge of what I'm presenting. Because a lot of times people in ministry get so excited about something new that they've learned that they don't ride the train to the end of the track. They like to jump off and share what they've learned, and then people start asking questions, and they can't answer those particular questions because they have not exhausted their resources and studies on that particular issue. And they're embarrassed because they can't defend this new teaching or this new thing that they've learned. So I only speak on what I know that I know that I know. Some people may have noticed that I don't have a lot of videos or teachings on the book of Revelation. Why? Because you know what? The jury is still out on eschatology. I have certain eschatological views that I hold to that are kind of set in stone for me, but there's a lot of things that are left wide open, and I don't teach about them because I simply don't know everything about it yet. I have not exhausted my studies or come to any definitive conclusions on certain aspects of eschatology, especially the book of Revelation and Daniel and things of that nature. So the jury's still out on some of those issues, which leads to my second rule. If I don't know, I'll say I don't know. Many people ask me a lot of end times questions and eschatological and prophetic questions with Daniel and Revelation and stuff, and I simply have to say, hey, great question, but I don't know. And I know that there's a lot of religious leaders and teachers out there that'll try to fake the answer because they want people to think that they know everything, that they know. They think it's a sign of weakness if they have to say, well, gee, I don't know. They're afraid that this person will go to some other teacher who knows more than they do. But I think it's a sign of great respect and maturity when a leader can say, hey, great question, never thought of it that way. Hey, sorry, don't have the answer for you, I don't know. So I only speak on what I know that I know that I know, and if I don't know, I'll say I don't know. Thirdly, if I'm ever wrong, I readily admit it and make appropriate corrections. Because we're human, sometimes even though I know that I know that I know that I know, and I teach upon it, I may be wrong on something. Why? Because there is an X factor that I didn't know about, or there's some new knowledge that comes into play that has just been discovered, especially in the realms of archaeology, and maybe some new manuscripts or something that's been found in a cave or whatever. So I teach what I know that I know that I know to the very best of my ability when I've exhausted my learning on that particular area. And then sometimes something from the outside comes into play that I never knew about or just discovered. And I'll have to go back and say, hey, I was wrong on this particular issue or on this particular teaching. And now I'm going to correct that error because some new knowledge, new evidence has presented itself. So let me just recant, restate. So if I'm ever wrong, I readily admit it and make appropriate corrections. Number 4, I never make promises or commitments unless I know I can keep them. A lot of people have put words in my mouth, emailing me or calling me saying, hey, you promised to do this, you promised to do that, when I know good and well I've never promised anything. Because I never make promises and commitments unless I know I can keep them. Because I know how easy it is for somebody to get back up against the wall and into a corner because they've made a commitment to something and they can't follow through with it. It's very, very rare that I'll make a promise that I can't keep, only because something from the outside, something unexpected comes about which prohibits me or makes it impossible for me to carry through a commitment. And, only Hashem knows. But I never make promises or commitments unless I know I can keep them. Because a lot of times when you're dealing in ministry, you'll say something to somebody saying, I'll do my best or I'll try. So I word things which leaves it wide open just in case I can't fulfill that particular request. So number 5, and lastly, and most importantly, I expose falsehood by teaching the truth. What's so important about that? Well, there's a lot of teachers and ministers out there that the bulk of their teaching, the bulk of their ministry is exposing falsehood by attacking those that teach falsehood. Don't listen to minister so-and-so. Don't listen to pastor so-and-so. Don't listen to rabbi so-and-so. Because they teach this, and they teach that, and they teach this, and they teach that, and it's wrong. You know, that's to me, that's a form of lashon hara. It's a form of gossip and slander. Why attack a person? Why attack a person? Don't attack the person because they're teaching falsehood. Just teach the truth. And by teaching the truth, automatically the falsehood will be exposed. Sometimes people will come to me and back me up against the wall and say, what do you think about this false doctrine? Well, I'll deal with that false doctrine, but I'll deal with it by teaching the truth about what the real doctrine is, not by attacking somebody who teaches this false doctrine. That's nothing but underhanded mudslinging. If you teach people the truth, they'll go to these false teachers and say, hey, that's not right. And they'll look at their Bibles, look at the scriptures, and say, hey, you know, this guy's a false teacher. Why? Because I know the truth. Not because, oh, Rabbi so-and-so said that I shouldn't listen to this person. No. So it's just like with citing counterfeit money. When people learn to spot counterfeit bills, they don't study counterfeit bills and look and examine what's wrong with this bill and all this kind of stuff. No, they deal with real currency, legitimate currency the entire time. They know what the truth is about that currency so well that when somebody slips in a counterfeit bill and they're looking at it and saying, hey, something's different about this. It don't feel right. It don't look right. And they can spot the counterfeit right away. Why? Because they've studied the false, the counterfeit? No, because they've studied the truth. So I expose falsehood by teaching the truth and by not attacking the falsehood itself or the person who teaches that falsehood per se. So these are Rabbi's rules, 5 personal rules that I live by as a rabbi. So hope you enjoyed it. Thanks for watching. Shalom. Shavua Tov.